morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So I'm going to take up the next 5 to 7 minutes of your time. And today we'll be talking about how to be unforgettable. And it's like that song. You know that song, Unforgettable? You need to be like that. So people mistake making things simpler as making them number. And I don't know why it's just like put it over. Okay, so people mistake making things simpler. So people say, okay, let's complicate things so that it sounds more interesting, more intellectual. And this is a massive mistake a lot of people make. So today, to be unforgettable, I'm going to talk about branding. And with all respect to Amit, I think you're going to talk about branding too, right? Just a coincidence. Not so I think branding is essentially, we've got a lot of huge definitions about branding. Branding is essentially teaching behavior at scale. Now, what is the origin of branding? The origin of branding is branding cattle. Uh, it's a very safe picture to pick up because the other one has a lot of smoke and fire happening on the cow. So if you had a cow and you had to put some logo on it to identify it's your cow. So what is your objective? To be able to identify that this is your cow, somebody else's cow. If somebody saw two cows standing in a field, one is branded and the other one is not, there will be a difference in the way they think about it. They will behave differently. So that was the objective. So if it's unbranded, the person might take the cow, might kill it, eat it, might leave it alone, whatever somebody does with an unbranded cow. And in the case of a branded cow, they might return it to the owner, or they might kill it if they don't like the owner. Still possible. Now, what's the key difference? The key difference is that it would change your behavior. That was a sense in the objective of branding. And when you say changing behavior, now what do we need to do in our businesses to change behavior? We need to be functionally teaching people. And there are two things that we need to realize here. Just two short things. Associating things people know with what they don't know. There are things that all of us know that we desire, that we want. We just have to associate them with things that we don't know yet. Now, the thing we know is the valuable thing. The thing the client knows, your customer knows, the world knows, what people meet on social media, the things they know is the valuable thing. And the thing they don't know is your brand. You just need to correct them. And so you associate the thing that your customer deems valuable. For example, in this case, I put a picture up of kids playing basketball. Now everybody wants to score that basket to win the match. And you associate them with a certain color, a certain brand, a certain tagline, a certain person, a certain product, and you go on telling people these are similar. This is what you want. This is how you get it. This is what you want. This is how you get it. You keep on making them telling people these are similar things, and you repeat them till they become one and the same. So that valuable thing that a person has and the brand they don't know, they kind of become the same. And then you disassociate. What do? You drop the thing. The valuable thing, you just drop it. And you have the person there that you showed in the as the brand. And interestingly, people will still behave the same way as they did when they had that value. They will start behaving like that, as though they're receiving value from that thing, which you've now disassociated with this person.
Just give example with Nike, for instance.
I've intentionally used Nike because people understand Nike, and it's easier to show what Nike has done here. They've associated, if anybody's watched the movie, they associated basketball with Michael Jordan and shoes. And it was a long, complicated way how they did it. But Nike was originally a running company. They started with basketball shoes because it was popular. They started connecting the basketball with basketball shoes. Then when they picked up Jordan, they designed a shoe exclusively for him. They associated basketball with Michael Jordan because he was so talented. So disassociating means you just drop that valuable thing. People will still behave the same way as if they had that thing. And you don't need to show that thing anymore. And then when you have that, you can associate with something new. You can take that logo or brand because now they know this thing, they know what it means, they know how they feel about it. And then you take that brand, you put it on a t-shirt, you put it on a pair of shoes, you put it on a bag, and you still have that association because people will still behave the same way. Now, somebody who's wearing a Nike jacket or a Nike t-shirt necessarily does not play sports, may aspire to do it, but since they've connected that aspiration with Nike, wearing that will make you feel good. Like I'm a Nike connoisseur. I do not like Adidas. I do not like Reebok. No reason. Just the way they feel. So basically, what we're doing in branding is we're programming behavior at scale. So when we create a brand, that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to program the customer's behavior at scale. Because brands eventually are the most valuable thing that a company has. Without the brand, we're just a commodity. And that is why people like Warren Buffett are buying brands now. This is just companies. And why Apple is not a tech company anymore. It's a brand. And how do you measure the power of a brand? There's a difference between what you can charge for a commodity versus a branded version of the product. A $20 t-shirt or a $10 t-shirt or a $5 t-shirt. You put a Nike logo on it, becomes 120. Just that little black swoosh. And what does the swoosh mean? Do we know? What does it mean?
The tagline, just do it.
But what is the swoosh?
It's so famous now that it's a,
We don't even know what it is.
but
If you remember, there's a nugget I did on Nike where Phil Knight told us what the swoosh was. It is the sound of somebody passing you by when you're running.
Running with the shoe.
That is the sound. We don't even know that, but we connect this sign with something very valuable. And then you can continue to raise the price based on your brand. That's the indication of the power of the brand. How much it has been trained and associated with that value that the person had. And why do we need to build a brand? It's one thing to have a salesperson to go out, sell your stuff, tell people how good you are, what great products you make, who you sell to. And it's another thing to just take something and print it on something and sell for $500 what costs $10. Costs, a jacket costing $20, sell it for $2,000. Just because you printed something on. And companies like Louis Vuitton, they understand brand. They print money. Because they really understand the value of the brand. We all read about Louis Vuitton bags, where they are made, what they cost. And interestingly, there's been a thing going around where that logo of LMVH, the Louis Vuitton logo, has come from some ancient carving in some country, I think Indonesia, Philippines. Some stone carving, they picked up that logo from there, and that's the LV logo. What is the purpose of the brand? Why are we doing all this? Why are we trying to build a brand? Because everybody says, I want to create content, nowadays social media content. I want to build a brand. The purpose of building a brand is to help solve a problem and to drive some value where you're providing a solution to the customer for a problem they didn't even know they had. Or maybe they had a problem and they were looking for a solution. Providing that solution, providing that value to them consistently every day. How you build a brand, and that is how you make money. There's no other way to make money. And then you can make that a content strategy. The content strategy, Pranav will agree here, it's not just about posting things. When you post something, does it connect to something else? Or are you just, a lot of us, we just post our products saying, okay, furniture, one and only, great furniture, nobody cares. And you are who you are. And you have to show people the evidence. You have to add years of doing this consistently without stopping. You have to add repetitions, iterations, changes, but subtle changes where the customer still associates that value. And it has to be continuous. You have to continue doing it year after year, week after week, day after day. And consistently have to keep on associating that brand and the value, Because the brand is not what you say it is what the customer says. And you don't need to do branding. Because branding just happens. Because you do things and branding just occurs. There's nothing like, I'm going to do branding. So you do things. You associate that value, you create that product, you imprint it, you do all that marketing, but branding also just happens. So you do the thing and you keep on doing it, and the repetition happens. You associate with things with the widest percentage of the audience who has that value. So if you try to sell something in the world and you say, this is for everybody, it's for nobody. Because when you try to be everything to everybody, you eventually become nothing to anybody. And you associate that positive thing again and again to a specific audience, and that is how branding will occur. And as usual, I'm not the one who created this. This is Alex Hermosi. This is from a podcast called The Game and an episode called Be Unforgettable. And this is just 5% of the episode. There's a lot more, but not relevant here. Thank you.